Okay, we do our read aloud. Again, I found this on the shelf at the library. This is a poem in a book. We've done a little bit of poetry work in class, but not a lot. The month of April is called National Poetry Month, and so in April we'll spend more time on poetry. But this is a poem by a famous United States author named Langston Hughes. And when I looked at the spine, as I was quickly, remember in the library, it was getting ready to close, and so I was looking quickly and I saw the words "my people." People is an important part of all of our lives, and as a teacher, it's extra important. And then I saw they listed the names of two people, Hughes and Smith Jr., and I thought that's probably the author and the illustrator. And I thought, I don't think Langston Hughes has a book. But then when I pulled it out and looked at the front cover and read the words "my people," kindergarten word, "my people," and then at the top it said Langston Hughes. He's a famous United States author, African American or black, people describe him as, because of his heritage. And he lived in New York City, so he holds a special place for me. I like the poems that I have read that he has written. He lived about 70 to 100 years ago. He was an important person in United States literacy history because of his writing and his poetry and the skill he had at the time that people recognized, which was a bit unusual, and his reputation has grown over time as people have appreciated his work. And he has written poems that are great for children, and he's written poems that when adults read them helps us think differently. And because it's Friday and you've spent a wonderful week with your family under these new circumstances, I thought this would be a good read aloud to end the week with, because it really speaks to how important people are to each other, but particularly when we think about what we call my people. When people use that word outside and out loud, generally they're talking about their family, my people, people in my family who we, in each of our families who we are surrounded by in person, like the family people you live with, or the other people like grandmas or grandpas or cousins who live in a different house, maybe even in a different city or state. And then sometimes when people say the word my people, they move that description beyond just their what we call blood family into the people who we are connected with. For Langston Hughes, that was African Americans as well as his own family. So black people or African American people. For me, that would be Irish people. If I think about my heritage, my national origin, the place where my family came from for tens, decades of years, or hundreds of years. We are connected to Ireland, so that would be my people. For me, it also could be some place like New York. When someone grows up in a small town, that's an experience that they have that's special. When someone grows up in a big city, like I did, 8 million people were in my hometown. Those are my people. We act a certain way, we think a certain way, we speak a certain way, and I feel connections to those people when I go back, even if I don't know them. So, my people. I hope you like this book. It's called My People by Langston Hughes, and the photos, photography by, is what it says on the front, Charles R. Smith, Jr. Here's the inside. Make sure I'm sitting in the right place. With lots of photos of people who look like Langston Hughes. My people. And I like the layout. There's one main photograph with lots of darkness, but the faces are lit up specially, so you see them. And then along the side, there's lots of smaller photographs of people who look like Langston Hughes. My People. It's a beautiful photograph of hands. Langston Hughes, My People, photography by Charles R. Smith, Jr. The Night. And now remember, this is a poem, so it's going to look and sound differently than the story kinds of books that we have been reading. The night is beautiful. So the faces of my people the stars are beautiful. So the eyes of my people beautiful also is the sun. Beautiful also are the souls of my people. And in the back, this has a photograph of, it says, the Charles R. Smith, the original, and all of my people. So the photographer put a photo of his dad in the back to honor his family history. And then there's some information about the two people, the artists, the writing artist, Langston Hughes, and the photography artist, Charles R. Smith, Jr., working together to create the book. Do some thinking about the book, different because it is a poem. Use of photography, which is different than illustrations. I like this book a lot. It fills my heart and fills my soul and fills my brain with good things. And that's why I thought that after the week we've been experiencing together this week as a family, as an individual, as neighbors in our neighborhood, as Seattleites in our city, as Washingtonians in our state, as United States citizens in the United States, as North Americans in our continent, and as global citizens, as part of the peoples of this earth. One could look at all of those groups as my people. You and the people around you are experiencing something that is historical. It's unlike anything we, who've been alive, have ever experienced. It's affecting people in different ways, but I want to believe, and I know it's true of the people I know, that we're all doing the best we can under these unusual circumstances. So be good to your people now and in the future and always. That's my hope for you for today. See you later. Thank you for listening.